Hey y'all, it is Jody Maynard of Fervor Voice. I am back Tuesday, May 7th. Been quite a while, I know. I've been doing some soul searching, stuff that just doesn't allow me to keep up with the podcast like I had in the past. But y'all understand, it's life. We're grown-ups. And even if you're not quite a grown-up yet and you just so happen to be listening, understand that there are going to be some times where you're just going to have to take a little bit of a break. There's an ebb and flow in life, in every single aspect of your life. That's just the way it goes. So let's get into it. I'm talking about clearing and I'm talking about cleansing. Let's go. Hey y'all, I'm back. Okay, so clearing and cleansing. So I just want to define first. That's just the way I am. Anytime I start something or talk about something, I want to make sure you're clear on the direction that I'm going. So when I say clearing, what do I mean by clearing? So by clearing, I just mean removing enough distractions to allow yourself to see some things. By cleansing, what does that look like? What was the result? What actually happened when you took action? When you said, okay, I have to do better than this. What did it actually look like? So I just wanted to start off with saying that while I didn't really keep up on my podcast like I had in the past, I just felt like if I didn't have enough to give, if I wasn't giving enough, if I couldn't give enough, really, that is just time to take a pause. And I believe in that. It's this podcast is not a sitcom. It's not, something that just rolls it, comes around at the same time. There are some times during my process that I just don't have it to give, and I recognize that I don't have it to give, and that's part of the process, being able to recognize it. It is a long journey. The grieving process really doesn't stop. That's what this podcast is about. For those of you who are listening for the first time, this is my journey. This is what I've gone through, what I'm actually going through in my grieving process of having lost my son and trying to put the pieces back together, understanding and recognizing what has happened, what is happening, and just trying to put the tools into play so that I can continue on. So I'm a retired school teacher. I'm a retired interventionist. I am still currently a coach. I am also a mentor. So when I say coach, that's very broad. By coach, I'd like to explain that I am an accountability coach. I am not the person that tells you that everything is, just going to be all right. Let's just do this. Let's just do, and then everything will be all right. I'm not that kind of coach. I am an accountability coach in the sense that I am very honest to a fault. Oftentimes people don't like that. Oftentimes it's a little bit too strong. I understand that. But the person that I am, I like to deal in truth. I like to deal in, and I must deal in what needs to happen, what I feel that I can put into place to help you to move forward. I am, as one of my friends said years ago, you just the black and white. There is no gray. You're just gonna say it. Yeah, that's who I am. That's the kind of coaching that I give. I do have a filter. If I don't feel that it's the right time, if I don't feel that a person can handle it, I'll probably just choose not to speak on it at all. But I am an accountability coach, and accountability does look a little bit different. As I said, I don't really do a lot of sugarcoating. I believe in effectiveness. I believe in truth. And I believe in suffering sometimes to get to where we need to get to where we need to be, or to move through what we're actually going through. That's what I believe in. So I just wanted to say that and get that out again to those who may be listening for the first time. I don't know. It just, it was important for me to say that. It was just kind of on me to say that. Let me go ahead and get started, because now I, just kind of spun out on something different, but hey, it came up. So is coming out. So I began clearing my mind, right? I put myself in a position where I felt that there are some things that, Jody, you can still do. There are some stones that you left unturned, and there's an opportunity that's come about that I don't want to go into it, 100%, but it was within the school system. And I did feel like there was still things that I could offer within the school system. So in order for me to move forward, I felt like I needed to put myself back into the school system, get my feet wet, understand what is now going on, because things happen so fast. What is going on in the school system now was not going on when I was in the school system in 21 and a few weeks into 22. That is not the situation now. It is really not. And it's a good thing that I did kind of dive in and jump in the way I did, because I feel like I probably would have started molding myself to fit. And that really isn't what needed to happen. So to make a long story short, I put myself into this just kind of like a 1 month situation, not local. I did leave the state to try this out. What I found out was that there are some things that I don't agree with. There are some things systematically that are not only the same as they were when I left, but very much different, and not in a good way, not in a positive or beneficial way. I take the safety of kids very seriously. I take the education of kids very seriously. And when you collide with the machine or the system and what you feel is right, you're going to have to make a decision. I felt like things had actually gotten worse. I know that things have actually gotten worse. And I don't like to speak on it, on this forum, in this way, because if you could even see the expression on my face, just reflecting on it and thinking about what I saw. It was heavy. It was heavy. It was sad. It was very unfortunate. Those of you that are parents who have kids that are still in the system, I urge you to be a second piece in their education. Because the things that go on inside the building that you don't really know about, your kids I don't feel that they really have the understanding to convey to you what is going on. And I say that because I've been in school before as a teen, just like everybody else. And I know that I couldn't convey things that were going on. I couldn't, because I just, as I got older, I just felt that it was just my issue, my situation. So I would handle it the best way I felt. And it usually wasn't the best way, but, it was the best way that I felt. I learned through my mistakes. But as parents, we see different things. And the things that we see are the things that the kids don't see, that are very important to act on and are foundational in their educational career. It's a lot of dishonesty, I'm going to tell you, within the system. And that dishonesty is because everybody is literally scrambling to keep what they've built. Every individual is scrambling to keep, hold on to, or go further up with what they have built. I am the type of coach. I am the type of mentor that believes in you following what your heart tells you. And I believe in strengthening a person from the inside, not the outside. I don't believe in strengthening someone with what someone else tells you. You have got to learn from within where you are, where you stand, and be able to stand on it and be able to grow from it. I don't believe in convincing anyone else of everyone else's theory behind education, because everyone brings a different talent to the table. So you can't use someone else's theory to deliver the best way you can. All that to say, my coaching doesn't fit. My coaching didn't fit. And it became very apparent that what I was bringing to the table, what I was trying to deliver, was definitely not what a system is looking for. A system is looking to push their agenda, their system, and it didn't fit. And so I was trying to come up with ways to kind of fold myself into that. How will I fit, with this? And it just got ugly. I got depressed. I got sick. And I got sick for, I believe it was about 3 days. It was about 3 days that I couldn't get out of the bed, and I, didn't eat. I was just sick. I don't take that as being just something that I caught from somebody. Maybe initially, just something I may have caught or whatever, but it was the way my body felt deep inside that caused me to kind of stop and think about some things. And it still wasn't clear what I needed to do. It really wasn't. But me, I'm a skater. So have I been skating all my life? No, but I picked it up, after my son passed away, and it has been an incredible way for me to release. And I literally had to take a day after feeling better to get my body strong enough to get on skates. So once I got back on my skates, I keep a pair of skates in my car. So I'm driving and I saw all of this sidewalk and it was smooth. I don't get on the sidewalks that are, broken up and, that look unsafe. And I was lost actually. And I came across this area with all these sidewalks and it was clear. And I said, oh no, I got to get some skating in. So that's exactly what I did. I got out and I skated. I had my headset on and it felt good to get that release. Then something came over me and said, girl, what are you doing? You're going to have a conversation with Brian. You're going to have to talk to him. So taking my skates off, I get emotional all of a sudden. And I call Brian and I talk to him. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what to do. And he knows how I am. If I get to the point where I'm saying, I don't know what I'm doing, I don't know that, he knows that I'm looking for someone to nudge me in a certain direction. And he wouldn't give in. He wouldn't do it. He wouldn't weigh in. Absolutely not. This is on you. If you feel you need to come home, come home. If you feel you need to stick it out because this is part of the process, that's what you do. I'm not weighing in on that. That's you. And I came home the next day. I did not complete that assignment. I did not. Because I knew that within myself, I just wasn't aligning. So I had to get my mind clear and I had to say to myself, this is not it. This is not it. Go back home, get some things situated, take it in, get to the altar, do some praying, do some relaxing. Yeah, get in your space so you can start to reset. And that's what I did. Once I did that, then I was able to start to receive. Part of what I received that was important, that was significant in the process, was that I had to get rid of that teacher stuff that I had. I had so much teacher stuff that I was holding on to. The manuals to help teachers out and these things that, you can assist them with and all of these different tools. I said, if I'm going to move forward, if I'm going to really clear my mind, because I already said this didn't align and I already felt it because I was sick. I got to get rid of this stuff and I got to get my mind clear. And I did not want to, but I said, nope, anything that is connected to, deals with, or is a segue into, let it go. Let it go and get rid of it. And I did that. I did just that. And it was scary. I didn't want to, because I was counting dollar signs. I was counting dollars, because it was just like, I paid this much for that, this much for that, and I ordered this specifically for that. I'm just counting money, counting money, counting money. Look at what I'm throwing out the window. But I had to say to myself, if it's going to be about money, then that's not the clarity you need. You're trying to clear your mind. The only way you clear your mind is to get all the clutter out of it. And it's going to require me to get rid of some of this stuff that I've had for years to build me on that track with the school system, supporting my way. But the school system don't want my way. That I can tell you. That I can tell you. They don't want that. So in doing that, I said, now I got to figure some things out. So now I have to be ready to receive. What is it that you really do want to do? And there were weeks, there were months of I don't know, I wish I knew. But I'm willing to receive. So let me see. What are some things that I can do? What are some things that I enjoy doing? I already know I enjoy skating. I already know that. So I went back to building my skating program. I went back to pushing the word out for my skating program. I'm going to make that the focus right now, because that's what I know I love to do. Still in the process, still in the works. It's going to be a long, slow process for that. And I get it. And I can receive that. I'm not going to rush with that, because there's a reason that this is not falling into place the way I want it to. So I'm going to receive that. But I'm going to keep working on it, because it's going to come in handy. I'll keep working on it. So I was ready to receive. Then some things came back, and I realized that there needed to be a clearing of my circle. Does that mean get rid of? No. Nope. Got to realign, got to figure out some things, got to understand some things. So with that clearing of my circle, what's that going to look like? It looks like acceptance. Yeah. It looks like accepting who and what. My closest friends that I connect with, that I communicate with several times a week and sometimes several times a day. Who are they to me? What is it that keeps me coming back and forth to them? What is it that they are doing for me that I'm doing for them? And then I realize there's one thing we all have in common. We are all grieving. And we're actively grieving. In other words, we're working on it. We are not tucking our grief away. We are not saying, I got to go to work to get my mind off of it. We are not saying, I got to go do this so I don't worry about it, so I don't think about it. We are not doing that. We're sitting in it. And that's what I admire about my 4 closest connections, I'll call them. Because we are in connection with each other on a daily basis. If not all 4 of them, 1 of them, 2 of them, or 3 of them. And it's the same thing. We're actively working through our grief process, and it takes patience. It takes understanding. It is not a part-time situation. It's really not. Because there are times when I reach out and I'm sharing this news and somebody else is just not ready to receive it. It's not as mean or as careless as they don't care. It's not that. It's that they don't have it to give. And if you are active in the grieving process, and if you understand the grieving process, no, if you respect the grieving process, you will understand that they're not ready right now. And that is okay. The love is not lost. They are not mistreating me. They are doing the best for themselves and the best that they can. That's the part that makes sense. That's the part that allows me to accept that I have that group, that I have that circle, that circle is what feeds me right now. That's where my clarity comes in, with my circle. That's where I can accept that. The result is forgiving that, yeah, not right now. Or, and this is the flip side to that, they may have to tell me some things I wasn't ready for. Like some things that you said that I really didn't like because I wasn't feeling good that day. I might have to accept that. And I'm going to have to forgive myself. And sometimes I have to forgive them. That's called being active in the grieving process, respecting the grieving process. And if you can respect the grieving process and be active in it, that's all I need. That's all I need. And those of you that are grieving and are hearing people or listening to people that are telling you, nah, you just gonna have to move on. Keep yourself busy. Be careful with that. Be careful with that. Because you need someone that you can surround yourself with that's not going to ignore your feelings. Because that is ignoring your feelings to say, move on, go back to work and keep busy. That's ignoring your feelings. Don't get caught up in that. Give yourself grace and go on and feel it. Because part of that situation that I was going through when I left to go do this thing, part of it was, I'm still grieving too. I'm still looking at those kids and seeing recognizing that when my son was that age, I'm still seeing those older sisters come and get their little brothers and say, come on, let's go. Just like my daughter did with her little brother. And that thing is still hurting. And then when you see or you hear certain things that people are saying about these kids, it's like, you shouldn't even be within a mile of this school. You shouldn't even be here. Then when you recognize that, hey, it's a temp agency. It's a temp agency running this school. These people in here are temps. They're teaching your children every day. They're temps. One thing I will advise you, in this state, you can definitely look up who's licensed and who's not. You need to find that out. Doesn't mean they're not a good teacher, but you need to find out what's going on. Let me leave that thing alone because I can go on for days with that. But yes, accepting what that is, and forgiving yourself, and forgiving the others who don't understand or who may have triggered you in a way. Being able to accept that and accept your responsibility in the situation. That's my clearing within my circle. The flip side of that, a clearing of my circle, it kind of happened because I think once I got through the process where I talked about my family members and my friends and things that I recognized and realized, and how I just kind of said, I'm not dealing with that. I know where to park you in my audience and blah, 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 blah. And then I got this team where I'm just like holding this side of the team up and saying, they did this for me and they did that for me. And I know they helped and I know this and I know that. Well, guess what happened? Yeah, that same cycle that happened with the other side happened with this side. Same thing, literally. And in clearing that circle, I had to accept that the truth that was there didn't go away. It didn't go away. That there are some people within that circle that held me so close when I needed. It's certain energies within that circle where it's just like, okay, you doing some real destructive stuff. Real destructive. And my position was, if I know it, I'm wrong if I don't say something to you. So that was the position that I took. And I said something. When I tell you the table turned on me like you wouldn't believe, not everybody, but those that individual knew that he could turn to dismiss his disgusting behavior. to dismiss it. And they did. So one thing I definitely found out, one thing I definitely accepted is that someone that's been going on, carrying on in the way that he has been, it can only happen if you surround yourself, if they are surrounding themselves with people who enable that and encourage that. And that's what happened. And the enablers, those that encouraged it, yeah, they did what encouragers and enablers do. And what did I do? I got mad about that thing. I really did. But I'm glad that things ended the way they did. I'm glad that I accepted that there are cycles within relationships. And there are ups and there are downs. And right now, with that particular circle, there's a down. I don't have to stay down, though. And I've made a choice to keep evolving and to accept that as it is. And maybe one day, and I'm sure we will one day we'll come out of the dust with this. But even coming out of the dust, I can forgive, but I won't forget. I understand what it is. And I understand that putting one group above the other is not fair. It's not reality. It's not truth. Remember, this is my journey through my grieving process. So I find out things as I move along. And as I move along, I share. So where I put one circle on a pedestal and drop the other circle, I'm understanding that one circle was no different than the other. They just showed up for that particular situation better than the other because I felt like they held me closer. I felt like that. Is it really true? I have no idea. I don't know. I'm not even going to worry about it. I got too many other things to do. But yeah, understand that in your process of getting the understanding of what it truly is, everybody's not going to agree. And some people will straight up just turn on you. But when they turn on you, accept that and be grateful for it. Because now you have information that you didn't have before. You didn't think this was going to happen. You see it now. So once you see it, accept it, forgive it. Put that in the tool bag. Put that in the tool bag. Because now you know. Now you know. So forgiveness, definitely. It didn't come right away. There's an art to it. So forgiving that part of the circle, or forgiving that particular circle, yeah, that had to happen. It definitely did. For my clearing, for my cleansing. The last thing for my clearing was my career. My husband and I had a long talk. And he said, I retired because I was ready. You retired because it was an option. You never said you were ready to stop working. You never said that. You never said you were ready to stop giving. And I don't think you are. So do that. Do that. Once I received that, that's when the shift happened. That's when things actually started coming into play. That's when a job came about that put me in the place that I wanted to be, outside of the education sector. Supporting, bringing light to, assisting, giving folks more of an outlook that will build. That's what I'm doing now. And I'm so grateful for it, because I'm telling you, I was trying to push myself into this. I was trying to stay in the education field because it was like, no, this is what I've been doing. It doesn't matter. You can walk away from it. I finally said to myself, it doesn't matter. And I think within my grieving process, I found out that, you know what? There is literally nothing that can hold you back. What could possibly come about that could hurt you so badly that you can't make a comeback? In whatever way that you want to, you've already suffered the worst outcome that any parent could ever imagine. You've already gone through that. There is nothing that can stop you at this point. There's nothing that can stop you. There's nothing that can stop me. Let me say me. There's nothing that can stop me at this point. And when I tell you that this aligns with me, that this is something that will allow me to make more connections, something that will allow me to grow my business more, to get it out there, I mean, the opportunities are overwhelming, honestly. Like I'm sitting here welling up because I can't believe it. I really can't. The beginning stages, but it took clearing and it took cleansing to get this far. And I'm very proud of what I've done this far. Has it all been right? Has it all been correct? No, it's a process, but I'm sharing it. And I'm happy to be sharing it. I'm happy that I made a shift. This has been a shift in my career. I had no idea this was the way that I was going to be going. I was prepared to just, start working with teachers in it. But you have to understand that your skills can kind of translate into some other things. And when they do, it's surprising. It's surprising just how fitting certain things are for you that you don't even realize. There's so much out there to receive if you're willing. That clearing and that cleansing, it's a scary thing, but there's nothing like it. Nothing like it at all. So that's the message today. That's what I have. Just the fact that the clearing and the cleansing can bring you and elevate you to greater heights. Can give you things you never imagined. I even started baking. That's kind of another arm on my business. I'm baking now. I didn't even know I enjoyed baking. The science of it. I didn't even know I enjoyed it. Is that booming right now? No, it's the beginning stages. But it will get there. It will get there. And hey, it's something that I want to do. And I'm going to do whatever I want to do. I don't have to limit myself. There are no limits. Don't limit yourself. You can do whatever you want to do. I mean, I'm literally a vendor. I'm a vendor now in my local area. I never imagined that could have happened. But it has. And whenever I see or whenever I come about something that I know would be good for my business specifically, and I know that I can handle it and I know that I can give 100%, then I'll jump on that. And hopefully I'll get that contract. But that all came from being willing to receive, being willing to dream, being willing to take the chance. And it's going to pay off. It absolutely is. My message to you, clear and cleanse. Clear and cleanse in order to receive. That's the only way you receive. You don't receive when you're cluttered and your hands are closed and you kind of can't see the forest for the trees. You will not regret that. It is a winning recipe. It truly is. So, I've been on here for it's like 33 minutes. Yeah, it's that time. It's that time. I'm going to go ahead and close up and let you know that, hey, I'm here. Any questions? My website is www.forevervoice.com. I am Jody at Fervor Voice if you'd like an email, or fervorvoice@yahoo.com. And the podcast is available on Apple and Spotify under Fervor Voice. I ain't going nowhere. I'm still sharing. I'm still going through the process. And I'm happy to deliver it to you. So, stay with me. I'll talk to you soon. Thanks for listening. It is Jody of Fervor Voice signing off. Bye.